hormones and moodiness. I've been thinking about this for so many years. As women, we've really gotten trained to think less of ourselves in terms of our moods being connected to our menstrual cycles and our menopausal cycles. I feel passionately about women honoring our own rhythms and cycles. And I have a story that when we get cranky and moody and tearful and dark cloudy, it's because we're needing something that we're not giving to ourselves. And often that's, I think, space, permission to say no, just like that deep meditative check-in time where we're really just attuning to what it is that we need. And I think as women we have this beautiful reminder every month and during transition, like perimenopause, that life goes in these rhythms and cycles, and we have this like breath of time reminder that we have these rhythms to honor, and how can we honor them? So I'm just feeling like I want to invite that for all of us, that when you think you're having PMS or perimenopause and it's a problem, that maybe it's not a problem. What if you looked at it as an opportunity instead to take a pause, step back, and really check in and see what is it that you need? What is it that not only your body, but your spirit is requesting of you? Maybe it's like laying on the couch all day and reading. Maybe it's taking a bath. Maybe it's not talking to anyone for days. But there's something powerful that comes out of that deep listening and giving ourselves space. Thought I'd share one of my favorite simple techniques to help bring the menstrual cycle back into balance. You can use this either to smooth out your cycles, kind of make things go more smoothly, or if things have gotten really irregular or your cycles have gotten really long or really short. So we're going to work with two substances, flax seeds and evening primrose oil. So flax seeds are estrogenic. Evening primrose oil is progesteronic, meaning they really support those parts of the cycle. And what we found is that if you use the flax seeds from the first day of your cycle, which is the first day you bleed, for 14 days, and then you switch over to the evening primrose for the next 14 days until you bleed again, that it will really support the body in coming back into rhythm. And if you have gotten really out of balance within about 3 cycles, that should be enough to help your periods come back into a 28-day rhythm. If you've gotten really out of whack and you're wanting to just kind of push the reset button, you can choose whether you want to start bleeding on the full moon or the new moon. Traditionally, women did bleed with the moon. When the full moon shined, it would stimulate the body to ovulate. So then we would bleed on the new moon. So if you want to do it that way, then you would just start the flax seeds on the new moon and do it until the full moon. And then on the full moon, you would start the evening primrose. Some women love to bleed on the full moon, so go ahead and flip that. But you should notice that within about 14 days, and I've seen like 9 out of 10 women, really their bodies will shift to that and they'll come back into a kind of natural flow. And their periods will get easier, less PMS, less cramping, all that. I would love to hear how it goes for you. Let us know. This is a tricky subject, and I have people asking questions every week about soy. And it's really an opinion. There are so many studies. There are studies that were done in Sweden where they gave women soy milk. I think they gave them 2 glasses of soy milk with high isoflavones. I think it was for 2 years, I'm sorry, and the women in the soy group had either no bone loss or an increase in bone density, whereas the women with no soy had steady bone loss. It's been shown to support bone strength. In my practice, when I have menopausal women with hot flashes and nothing's helping, it's really common that a glass or 2 of soy milk a day will stop their hot flashes. Studies that came out many years ago and said soy was bad and caused cancer, they were linked to this idea that soy blocks the thyroid hormone, and when the thyroid hormone goes down, then we have a greater risk of cancer. I think that's how it ended up coming out, and they've now come back and said, no, we read the studies wrong, and that's not what's happening. But either way, I just say add seaweed. Add iodine and seaweed to your diet when you're doing soy. And actually, when the first studies came out saying do soy, that was the first thing I thought is, we're taking it out of context. Yeah, women in Japan have a lot less breast cancer, but they do soy, but they also always have seaweed. So I just tell my patients, do soy and add seaweed. The seaweed is going to support your estriol, your healthy estrogens, and it's also going to support your thyroid. So anything that might be affected by the soy in the thyroid is offset by the seaweed. And I do have so many women who have found that the soy really helps their menopause go much more smoothly. Organic, make sure that you do organic soy. If you're allergic, obviously don't do it. Okay, hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments.